Babysitting for my friend's little girl, and I put her to bed, and I wanted to look at a very violent program about spies and a very violent program about the mafia killer, and it was absolutely gruesome. And Tilly kept on coming down and interrupting me for another drink of water, and I had to turn off the telly. And she wanted fairy stories told to her, and her folks didn't allow fairy stories, they weren't PC. So she thought I was great making up all these fantastic things. So, unhappily, the fairy stories got cross-pollinated with the extreme violence of the mafia killer, and I wrote what I call a nursery crime. This one is called Up Above the World So High. The three blind mice, they didn't tell you the same thing twice, and they wasn't very nice. And they wasn't blind. See, that was just the blind. They wore shades to hide their eyes, maestros with a switchblade knife. They ran all the vice, and any opposition had already lost their lives. But fuck it, lately the farmer's wife, it was rumoured she'd done the old man in and taken over everything, and had now begun to move in on their territory. And they didn't like it. They weren't used to being told what they could and couldn't do. Confrontation and respect was due. Both boobs bore a tattoo that proclaimed in Latin, trouble and strife and fuck you. Her other tattoo just above her pubic hair stated in mock Gothic script, abandon hope or ye went to hear. One night the farmer's wife decided to separate the men from the mice, had them scrubbed out by a psycho known locally only as Slasher Gore. Now the three blind mice don't see so good no more. See, being dead ain't good for the sight. Ain't that right? Ain't that Deal with them, boys. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, meet the new big mama of vice, the farmer's wife, just like it spells out in nasty neon lights, twinkling, twinkling, obscuring the stars. Thank you. This is a phone call. Thank you. He called me a cunt. Oi, you're a cunt. I thanked him for the compliment. Couldn't conceive of anything more beautiful to be. Thank you. This is called Preserve. Tongue stained with blackberries, we collect kisses, falling into ditches, being stung by nettles. Your dress snags on a briar, and you cry out in mock horror. I cut my way through the tangle of thorns as if I were your prince. Charming me, you undo your buttons as you step out of your dress, as if you were stepping out of yourself. Your dress hangs like a chrysalis. You let down your golden hair and we make love then and there, a tractor and some cows go by. We laugh and try to hide. The sun beats down on my bum, we giggle and come, return to the big old dirty town and turn our blackberry picking days into luscious winter jam. The lady was a performance artist, and the site of her art was her own female self, so this poem very much reflects that. I'd come home and I'd say, honey, I'm home, to be met by a very large green 30-foot perplex vagina. So you just had to get used to those being around the table and stuff like that. So this is called When They Made You, They Broke the Mold. I sit and gaze, amazed, as you create a rubber mold of your vulva. You ask me what I think. I blink and grin and say, it's something else, but what's it for? It's for you, because I love all the things that you do to it. I smile, well, all right. For years, your masterpiece held pride of place above our mantelpiece, created heated debate over how much was too much or how far was too far, or as Mark said, it oughtn't to be allowed. It always made me smile. People were often affronted, but you, being you as was your wont, proudly declared, I am not ashamed of my cunt. Years later, we broke up and it ended up in an attic, neatly packaged and covered with dried wild flowers. I wrote and asked if you wanted your vulva back. You wrote back and said, oh yes please, in big, bold, capital letters. And so, like a Rosetta Stone, it was returned to its original owner with a little note attached that simply said, thank you for the gift of this and for loaning it to me for all these years. It was greatly loved and greatly missed, then sealed with love and a single kiss. Crazy loneliness. hijacks memory of a beautiful girl. Last night I missed you so much that I made love to your nightdress passionately. Now your nightdress hides from me, slinks under covers and pillows, abides my eyes. I can't take another night without you. Your nightie can't take another night with me. I am holding your dresses hostage, threatening your clothes with kisses, caresses if they make one false move. Your other clothes tremble in the wardrobe. Come back. Name of this one? Oh yes, it's called Clothes Have No Memory. Your most prized dress must confess that it cannot remember the swell of your breast, the rise and fall of your breathing. Clothes have no memory. It is winter now and your summer frock has totally forgot the sheer sunny shockness of being underneath it all, absolutely knickerless. Kisses like butterflies alighting high, high on your inner thigh, thigh. Don't even go there, Mark. Clothes have no memory. Your bra, unhooked, unhinged, cannot really recall the thrill of it all, as my hands with each caress create your breasts. Clothes have no memory. Clothes have no memory, but I do. This is a little haiku called in case you didn't hear that, the title was called or variations of that. That's just the title. I know haikus don't have titles, but hey, this one has. So, the house dashes to the left, then faints and goes right. The drunk keeps perfectly still. Thank you. It was my daughter's 3rd year of being herself, and we had 40 of our little peers over to celebrate this fact. She loved being 3, and I got her a very nice present, and they were all going absolutely bananas, and I thought, whoa, I'll have to go into that room and stop that noise. And as I approached the door, a silence fell, and the silence frightened me even more. And just as I reached for the doorknob, the door flung itself open, hit me in the face, and 40 little kids ran into the room, and they basically said this haiku to me. It's called New Dog, Old Tricks. The dog's in the loo. We was teaching him to pee, and he just fell in. Like that. I'll end that, Mark. This is called Invisible Blue Plaques. It's myself and Janice's 6th year of being Dónall and Janice. Sometimes people confuse the names and call us Donice and Janice and Janal and stuff like that. But we are separate people. This is called Invisible Blue Plaques. You might have seen some of the invisible blue plaques out there. Someone or other lived and died here. Some other someone wrote their most famous work there. Every so often a blue plaque informs us as we journey through town, rain falling down, of blah blah, who blad and blad here, or was blad there, who cares? In my mind, I erect invisible blue plaques to commemorate us. Here we kissed, did we not? Last year? Yeah, okay. A mere minute ago. Here we turned and laughed on the corner of this everyday road. Here we laughed and hugged on a pedestrian crossing. Whistling at our ardour, a taxi honking at our armour. All over London our invisible blue plaques commemorate us, and that we once passed this way, so deeply in love. Thank you very much.